The forbidden rescue. Marcus. Chen wiped the sweat from his forehead as he navigated the dimly lit corridors of Station Omega-7's abandoned maintenance sector. The human engineer carried his toolkit with practiced ease, heading toward a reported power fluctuation in the station's outer ring. What he found instead would change the course of galactic history. A small figure huddled against the cold metal wall, barely visible in the shadows. Marcus dropped his tools and rushed forward, his engineer's instincts overriding caution. The creature before him was unlike anything in his xenobiology training. Standing no taller than a human child, it possessed iridescent silver skin that flickered weakly with bioluminescent patterns. For arms hung limply at its sides, while delicate crystalline structures along its spine pulsed with fading light. The being was dying. Marcus knelt beside the creature, noting the labored breathing and the strange blue fluid seeping from wounds along its torso. His hands trembled as he reached out, unsure if touch would help or harm. The moment his fingers made contact with the alien skin, large, violet eyes snapped open, filled with fear and pain. "Hey there, little one," Marcus whispered, his voice gentle despite his racing heart. "I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here to help." The creature's breathing grew more erratic. Marcus recognized the signs of system failure from his years maintaining life support equipment. Whatever this being needed to survive, it wasn't getting enough. He pulled out his portable scanner, running diagnostics on the alien's biosignatures. The readings made his blood run cold. The creature's internal temperature was dropping rapidly, its energy patterns flickering like a dying star. Without immediate intervention, it would be dead within the hour. Marcus activated his emergency communicator, then hesitated. Station protocol demanded immediate reporting of any alien contact, especially with unknown species. But protocol also required quarantine procedures that could take hours to implement. Hours this child didn't have. He switched off the communicator and got to work. From his toolkit, Marcus retrieved a portable power cell and a collection of fiber optic cables. If his hypothesis was correct, this being's crystalline structures weren't just decorative, they were part of its respiratory system, converting ambient energy into breathable compounds. The damaged crystals weren't processing enough power to sustain life. Working with the precision that had earned him commendations throughout the Federation fleet, Marcus began connecting his power cell to the alien's spine structures. The delicate work required steady hands as he threaded hair-thin conductors between the creature's natural crystals. "This might sting a little," he murmured. Activating the first connection, light blazed through the alien's crystalline spine as Marcus's power cell fed energy directly into its biological systems. The creature's eyes widened in surprise as its breathing began to stabilize. The bioluminescent patterns across its skin grew brighter, pulsing in what Marcus hoped was a healthy rhythm. But the victory was temporary. The portable power cell wouldn't last long, and the creature's wounds still needed attention. Marcus examined the damage more carefully, noting the precise nature of the injuries. These weren't accidental trauma. Someone had deliberately hurt this child. 3 levels above, hidden cameras recorded every moment of the interaction. In a secure observation room, Council Leader Vexter of the Galactic Oversight Committee watched with growing fascination. The tall, insectoid being's compound eyes tracked Marcus's every movement as the human worked to save the dying child. "Remarkable," Vexter chittered to his aide. "The human doesn't even know what species he's treating, yet his methodology is sound." The aide, a bulky Turonian with rocky skin, shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, shouldn't we intervene? That's a Zephyrian child. If it dies under human care, if it dies, Crex, it will be because someone wanted it dead before the human found it." Vextor's attention never wavered from the screens. "Look at those wounds. Ritual scarring patterns. Someone tried to perform a severance ceremony." Crex's rocky features darkened with understanding. The severance ceremony was the Zephyrian Empire's method of casting out the weak, the disabled, or the politically inconvenient. The victim was marked with ceremonial wounds and abandoned to die slowly, their life force literally severed from their body. Back in the maintenance corridor, Marcus had jury-rigged a more permanent power solution using conduits from the station's main grid. The alien child's condition had stabilized, but Marcus could see exhaustion in those large, violet eyes. He fashioned a blanket from thermal insulation material and carefully wrapped it around the small form. "There we go," he said softly. "Rest now. You're safe." The child's forehands moved weakly, gesturing in a pattern Marcus didn't recognize. But the intent was clear gratitude. The human engineer smiled and settled beside his patient, maintaining constant monitoring of the improvised life support system. Hours passed. Marcus dozed fitfully while keeping one eye on his jury-rigged equipment. When he woke, he found the alien child sitting up, examining the power cables connecting to its spine with obvious fascination. The crystalline structures now glowed with steady light, and the wounds along its torso had begun to heal. "Feeling better?" Marcus asked, stretching cramped muscles. The child looked at him with those remarkable violet eyes and spoke in a voice like crystal chimes. "You... saved... Kira." Marcus blinked in surprise. "You can understand me?" The child Kira nodded slowly. "Quick learners, you... Why help Kira? Humans. Not no Zephyrians, because you needed help," Marcus replied simply. "That's enough reason for me." Kira's bioluminescent patterns shifted to what Marcus instinctively recognized as confusion. In Zephyrian culture, aid was never given without expectation of return service or strategic advantage. The concept of helping simply because help was needed was foreign. Kira was marked for severance, the child continued, touching the healing wounds. "Royal bloodline, but crystals grow wrong, weak, shameful." Marcus felt anger building in his chest. "There's nothing shameful about needing help. And there's definitely nothing wrong with your crystals now, indeed." The alien child's spine structures now pulsed with vibrant energy, creating beautiful patterns of light that danced across the corridor walls. The improvised power system had somehow enhanced Kira's natural abilities rather than simply sustaining them in the observation room. Vextor made a decision that would echo through the galaxy. He activated his secure communicator and spoke to his intelligence network. "I need a full background investigation on engineer Marcus Chen. Station Omega-7, everything his service record, his psychological profile, his personal history, and I need it within the hour." As data began flooding in, Vextor studied the human who had unknowingly rescued the heir to the Zephyrian throne. Marcus Chen, age 28, orphaned at age 12 when his colony transport was attacked by raiders. Raised in Federation care facilities. Enlisted in the engineering corps at 18. Exemplary service record with multiple commendations for creative problem solving and disregard for personal safety when lives were at stake. "Sir." Crex interrupted his reading. "We're receiving priority communications from the Zephyrian Empire. They're demanding to know the location of the missing heir. Asterisk. Vextar's antennae twitched with what passed for a smile among his species. Tell them we're investigating, and prepare the full council for an emergency session. We may have just witnessed the most important moment in human-alien relations since first contact. Down in the maintenance corridor, Marcus was teaching Kira how to regulate the power flow to optimize energy distribution. The child proved to be a quick study. Intuitive understanding flowing between species as if such cooperation was natural rather than unprecedented. Your people, Marcus asked carefully, will they be looking for you? Kira's light patterns dimmed. Kira cast out. No longer royal, only alive because of Marcus. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. He knelt beside the child, meeting those violet eyes directly. Listen to me, Kira. Whatever your people did, whatever they said about you, it doesn't define who you are. You're brilliant, you're brave, and you deserve to live. Never forget that. For the first time in its young life, Kira experienced unconditional acceptance. The concept was so alien to Zeph culture that the child's bioluminescent patterns began cycling through, colors that had no meaning in its species. Traditional communication spectrum knew, hues born from emotions. That had never existed before. Marcus spent the next several hours creating more sophisticated support systems for Kira, using spare parts from throughout the abandoned sector. He constructed a portable power pack that would allow the child greater mobility. He also fashioned simple tools sized for Kira's smaller hands, encouraging the young alien to participate in the engineering work. Asterisk. You have good instincts for this, Marcus observed, as Kira successfully calibrated a power regulator. Maybe engineering runs in families. Kira looked puzzled. Families? Marcus realized that Zephyrian society might be very different from human family structures. He spent time explaining concepts of chosen family, of bonds formed through care and shared experience rather than blood or duty. Kira listened with the intense focus of a child discovering that the world was far larger and more wonderful than they had ever imagined. As day cycles passed, Marcus made the abandoned corridor into a temporary home for both of them. He couldn't risk taking Kira to the main station areas without triggering diplomatic incidents, but he also couldn't abandon the child. So he stayed, using his engineering access codes to requisition supplies while filing false reports about extended maintenance. Projects the bond between human and Zephyrian grew stronger with each passing day. Marcus taught Kira human games and shared stories of Earth. Kira, in return, showed Marcus the mathematical principles behind Zephyrian crystal resonance technology, opening the human's mind to new possibilities in energy manipulation. Unknown to both of them, their every interaction was being recorded and analyzed by the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The Galactic Council's secret surveillance network captured not just their words and actions, but the unprecedented harmony developing between two species that had never even met before. Vexter found himself spending more and more time watching the feeds, fascinated by what he was witnessing. Here was proof that the galaxy's rigid hierarchies and species barriers might not be as immutable as everyone believed. A human and a Zephyr, working together with perfect cooperation despite having no shared history, no common culture, no mutual benefit except the simple desire to help one another survive and thrive. Asterisk. The Council's Revelation Council leader, Vextar, stood before the assembled representatives of 47 galactic civilizations. his compound eyes reflecting the soft glow of the chamber's bioluminescent walls. The emergency session of the Galactic Oversight Committee had drawn delegates from across known space, though none of them yet understood why they had been summoned. "Esteemed colleagues," Vextar began, his chittering voice amplified throughout the vast chamber, "we gather today to witness something unprecedented in our recorded history. For the past 10 days, our surveillance network has documented an interaction that challenges every assumption we hold about interspecies relations. The massive holographic display activated, showing Marcus Chen's first encounter with the dying Zephyrian child." Gasps echoed through the chamber as delegates recognized the significance of what they were seeing. Ambassador Visis of the Zephyrian Empire rose from her crystalline seat, her bioluminescent patterns flashing in urgent orange and red. "That is Crown Prince Kirathanis, heir to the Zephyrian throne," she declared, her voice carrying across the chamber like wind chimes in a storm. "The child was lawfully cast out under the Severance Protocol. Why have you not reported this violation of our sovereignty?" Vextar Santeni twitched. "Because, Ambassador, we wanted to understand exactly what we were witnessing before we acted. Please, observe the complete record." The holographic display continued, showing Marcus's desperate attempts to save Kira's life, his gentle care, his patient teaching, and the remarkable bond that had formed between human and Zephyr. As the images played, the chamber fell silent. Even the most cynical delegates found themselves moved by the display of pure compassion. Ambassador Corinth of the Valdorian hegemony leaned forward, his scarred features twisted in confusion. The human had no logical reason to risk himself for an unknown alien child. What did he hope to gain? "That," Vextar replied, "is precisely what makes this so remarkable. Observe." The display showed recent footage of Marcus and Kira working together on an advanced power distribution system. The human engineer was teaching the young Zephyrian principles of human technology while learning Zephyrian crystal harmonics in return. Their collaboration had produced innovations that neither species had achieved. "Alone, impossible," breathed Dr. Zeloth of the Scientific Consortium. "Those energy patterns, they're achieving 96% efficiency in power transfer. Our best combined technologies barely reach 70%, Ambassador." Tice's patterns shifted to deep purple, the color of profound thought among Zephyrians. "Show us the child's current status," she demanded. The display shifted to real-time feeds. Marcus and Kira were in their makeshift workshop, surrounded by increasingly sophisticated equipment. The young Zephyrian's crystalline structures now blazed with power that far exceeded normal parameters. More importantly, the child moved with confidence and joy, emotions that were rare even among healthy Zephyrian youth. The human's intervention didn't just save the child's life, Vextar explained. It enhanced abilities that were already exceptional. Prince Kirathanis wasn't weak, the child was simply developing along different parameters than traditional Zephyrian biology. Silence filled the chamber as the implications sank in. The Zephyrian Empire had nearly executed its most gifted heir based on incomplete understanding of their own species. Potential. Ambassador Thesis rose again, her patterns now cycling through colors that had no translation in any other language, motions too complex for words. Request immediate private consultation with the human. Engineer Marcus Chen and Crown Prince Kirathanis denied, came an unexpected voice from the chamber's entrance. Emperor Zethera of the Zephyrian Empire entered, his massive form causing delegates to shrink back. Standing nearly 3 meters tall, with crystalline structures that covered half his body. The Emperor radiated power that made the air itself shimmer. "Your Majesty, Ambassador, this is began." But the Emperor silenced her with a gesture. "I have come to see for myself the human who dared to interfere with Zephyrian law," Emperor Zethera declared, "and to reclaim what was cast out." Vexter stepped forward, his smaller form showing no fear of the imposing ruler. "Your Majesty, perhaps you should see the full situation before making any decisions." The Emperor's crystalline structures flared with angry light. "A human has stolen the heir to my throne. There is nothing to discuss." "Watch," Vextar said simply, activating a new section of the recording. The display showed the moment when station security had finally discovered Marcus and Kira's location. 3 armed guards had entered the maintenance corridor with weapons drawn, shouting orders for Marcus to step away from the alien. Kira had reacted with pure terror, certain that the severance ceremony was about to be completed, but Marcus had positioned himself between the guards and the child, arms spread wide, refusing to move despite the weapons aimed at his chest. "You want to hurt this child," he had said calmly. "You'll have to go through me first." The guards had hesitated, confused by a human willing to die for an alien they didn't even recognize. That hesitation had given Kira time to demonstrate the new abilities their time with Marcus had unlocked. The young Zephyrian had created a light display so beautiful and complex that the guards had lowered their weapons in sheer wonder. Emperor Zethera watched his heir with growing amazement. The child he had ordered cast out was demonstrating capabilities that surpassed even adult Zephyrian nobles. The crystalline structures along Kira's spine weren't malformed, they were evolved, advanced beyond anything their species had seen before. "Bring them here," the Emperor commanded quietly. "Both of them now, within the hour." Marcus and Kira stood in the center of the Galactic Council chamber, surrounded by the most powerful beings in known space. Marcus looked overwhelmed but determined, while Kira stayed close to the human's side. Small 4-armed form, radiating nervous energy, Emperor Zethera approached slowly, his massive presence dominating the chamber. When he spoke, his voice carried harmonics that made the air vibrate. "Prince Kirathan, you were cast out for weakness. Explain how you survive." Kira looked up at the Emperor with violet eyes that showed no fear. "Marcus saved Kira. Marcus taught Kira. Marcus showed Kira that different, not weak." The Emperor's gaze shifted to Marcus. "Human engineer, you interfered with the lawful execution of Zephyrian justice." "Why?" Marcus met the Emperor's stare without flinching. "Because justice that throws away children isn't justice at all. It's waste." And fear, gasps, echoed through the chamber. No one spoke to Emperor Zethera in such terms and lived. But Marcus continued, his voice gaining strength. "Your Majesty, Kira is remarkable. Not despite being different, but because of it. The child's abilities are beyond anything I've ever seen. You are about to destroy your greatest treasure because it didn't look like what you expected." The Emperor's crystalline structures began to pulse with dangerous light. But before he could respond, Kira stepped forward, placing small hands on his massive arm. "Father, Marcus speaks truth. Kira... Stronger now. Different, strong." To demonstrate, Kira began to sing a sound like crystal bells mixed with cosmic wind. The child's bioluminescent patterns synchronized with the song, creating a display that brought tears to the eyes of beings who had never cried before. The music carried harmonics that touched something deep in every species present, a universal language of hope and beauty. When the song ended, the chamber remained in absolute silence. Emperor Zathera knelt before his child, bringing his massive head level with Kira's small form. "Forgive me, young one. I saw difference and called it weakness. I was ... wrong." The emperor rose and addressed the full assembly. "The Zephyrian Empire formally requests that engineer Marcus Chen be granted status as Kira's guardian and cultural ambassador. He has shown us truths about our own people that we had forgotten." Ambassador These stepped forward, her patterns now blazing with excitement. "Furthermore, I propose that this incident become the foundation for a new protocol in interspecies relations. Project Harmony, a systematic effort to find the hidden strengths that emerge when different species work together." Vexstar activated the chamber's main display, showing compiled data from Marcus and Kira's collaboration. Preliminary analysis suggests that human-Zephyrian cooperation could advance both of our technologies by decades. But more than that, it demonstrates that our greatest achievements may come not from competing, but from combining our unique abilities. Dr. Zeloth of the Scientific Consortium nearly vibrated with enthusiasm. "The applications are endless. What other combinations might yield similar results? What innovations are we missing by maintaining strict species separation?" Over the following hours, the Galactic Council voted to establish the first interspecies cooperation initiative, with Marcus Chen and Prince Kirithanis serving as its first ambassadors. The program would pair individuals from different species to explore collaborative potential, breaking down barriers that had existed for millennia. As the formal sessions concluded, Marcus found himself alone with Emperor Zathera in a quiet alcove of the council chambers. The massive Zephyrian ruler studied the human engineer with new respect. "You risked everything for a child you had never seen before," the emperor observed. "This is unusual behavior among the species we know." Marcus shrugged, still somewhat overwhelmed by the day's events. "Maybe that's why we needed to meet. Every species has something unique to offer. Humans, we're good at seeing potential where others see problems, at caring about individuals even when logic says we shouldn't." The emperor's crystalline structures pulsed with what Marcus was learning to recognize as approval. "And we, Zephyrians, are good at perfection, at pushing the boundaries of what is possible. Together, together we might achieve things neither of us could imagine alone," Marcus finished. Emperor Zathera extended one massive hand, and Marcus clasped it without hesitation. In that moment, two species that had never met before forged a bond that would reshape the galaxy. Kira appeared at Marcus's side, the young Zephyrian's patterns cycling through new colors that represented emotions their species had never experienced before: the joy of acceptance, the warmth of chosen family, the excitement of unlimited possibility. "What happens now?" Kira asked, looking between Marcus and the emperor. Marcus smiled, ruffling the crystalline structures on the child's head with gentle affection. "Now we explore the galaxy together. We learn from everyone we meet, and we show them that different doesn't mean dangerous, it means wonderful." The emperor nodded solemnly. "Prince Kirithanis, you will be my heir in all things. But first, you will be student to the finest teachers the galaxy can provide. Learn from every species. Understand every perspective. When you rule, you will govern not just Zephyrians, but a truly united galactic community." As news of the Council's decision spread throughout known space, reactions were mixed. Some species expressed concern about humans gaining such sudden influence. Others worried that traditional boundaries were being dissolved too quickly. But from the humblest mining colonies to the greatest academic institutions, young beings began to dream of possibilities they had never imagined. A human had saved an alien prince not for reward or recognition, but simply because it was right. That single act of compassion had opened doorways to a future where cooperation replaced competition, where diversity was celebrated rather than feared, where the greatest achievements came from bringing different minds together. Marcus Chen, an engineer from a backwater station, had accidentally become the catalyst for the galaxy's next evolutionary leap. And Prince Kirithanis, once cast out as defective, would grow up to become the bridge between worlds, living proof that the universe's greatest treasures often came in unexpected forms. The recording ended, but the story was just beginning. Across the galaxy, the first interspecies cooperation teams were forming. Scientists, artists, engineers, and philosophers from dozens of worlds were preparing to work together on projects that would have been impossible for any single species to achieve. In a maintenance corridor on Station Omega-7, a human engineer had seen a dying alien child and decided that all life was precious. That moment of simple humanity had changed everything. The galaxy would never be the same. And in the end, perhaps that was the most human thing of all: the stubborn, illogical, beautiful insistence that everyone deserved a chance to shine. Asterisk.